Hi, so thank you so much for the kind introduction. And thank you so much to the HUB Institute for inviting me to be here and be able to speak a little bit about what we have been doing here in the city of Lisbon regarding sharing mobility. So the first thing I wanted to say is that is to framework a little bit why we are focusing on this. And there are several reasons, but the main reason I would say is that the city of Lisbon has made some serious commitments regarding climate change and the decarbonization of the city, namely in terms of mobility. And this is because we are very aligned with the rest of the world. All the countries that signed the Paris Agreement, the Covenant of Mayors, and we feel that we are aligned also with the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, when he says that we are in the risk of losing the race against climate change, and we have to have stronger ambition. So what we are doing here in Lisbon regarding mobility is we've been planning we've been planning where we want to be in terms of mobility in order to achieve these commitments that we have set up. And so we have taken the decision to develop a sustainable urban mobility plan. We have done our analysis, we understand the problems, and we are seeking towards the opportunities that can, to improve the mobility ecosystem. We have designed a strategic vision that I'm going to try to explain a little bit. And we have this vision. In this vision we have defined some targets, aggressive targets, and we are now in the phase of developing our sustainable urban mobility plan. And we're designing the measures that we want to implement in order to achieve the vision that we have set up. So here in the city of Lisbon, we have, just to give you a glimpse of our, where we are in terms of mobility. We have, like most of the cities, we have come from a situation where public transport was, the main way of going around in the city, and but some decades ago, we have this boom of cars. It has increased to numbers that we don't like. And we peaked in 2000, and in the last decade we peaked with the use of cars being almost half of all the trips in the city. Severe decrease in the use of public transport, and walking and cycling as well were very small. This situation is now being reversed by the politics that we have put in place in the city. And so, yeah, we have the design and just published actually last year our strategic vision for sustainable mobility called Móvel Lisboa. Within this vision, we have defined some goals. The two most important ones is that we want to reduce the number of cars and the speed of cars, and we want to achieve 2/3 of trips done in sustainable modes in the city by 2030. And also we want to have no more deaths related to traffic in the city also by that year. So how we organize ourselves, it's not very complicated. It's just a matter of, we have defined a team that is working on the pedestrian plan. So it's a team that is focusing on promoting the walking and creating better infrastructure for people to be able to walk in better conditions and making walking more appealing. We have a team looking into cycling and try to create a concrete cycling infrastructure in the city. We have a team looking into public transport, how to improve public transport, reduce fares, increase frequency, etc. We have a team looking into traffic, how to reduce the number of cars and the access to some parts of the city, and especially reduce the speed of traffic. We have a team looking into interfaces. We have a team looking into parking as a tool of mobility management. We have a team looking into logistics. This is a very important one where we are lacking behind. We have a team looking into touristic mobility and a team looking into scholar and corporate mobility. And finally, we have a team looking into sharing services. This is particularly important for us because we assume that our mobility ecosystem is the backbone is public transport. And we do have a nice public transport system in the city, but this public transport system needs to be more flexible. So we need to be able to give other options to the users of the city. So we have made a call to the private sector, to the private operators of new mobility services to come to the city and deploy their services here in the city. And how we do this, we have assumed that that all of these services, these innovative services, can bring to our system the flexibility that the public transport cannot afford alone. So what we have done is we've been working closely with a lot of operators. We started this journey in 2008 with a small pilot on car sharing. Then we tried bike sharing as well. We have for some years we've been planning our bike sharing scheme that was launched in 2017, station based. But at the same time, we also called into the private sector. So in 2016, we have the first moped operator coming to the city. Also, a car sharing operator, a small one, came to the city by that time. And then from 2017 onwards, it just boomed. It was very interesting to see. In 2019 we were having 3 car sharing operators, 3 moped sharing, 3 bike sharing, and 9 scooter sharing operators in the city. Along with this, we also had 3 companies operating ride-hailing services. So just in pre-COVID times, we were, all of this system was very dynamic and very intense and complex. So what we have done was we started to be very pressed by the city stakeholders and by the citizens, saying that we should, somehow regulate this community, which was something that at that time in 2018 we didn't really know how to do it, because we didn't knew these businesses so well in order to allow us to write down a good regulation. But and we actually didn't knew where this is gonna be. What we thought was, if we want to write down a regulation about these new mobility service that we don't completely understand, we don't even know where this is going to be in 10 years time, let alone in 1 year time, let alone 10 years time. So this is not easy to do this kind of setting up of rules. So what we've done was we have 2 laws in Portugal that help us to regulate the services. One is the road code, and the second one is a sharing law that was passed on 2018 that defines already some rules for these sharing services. But this was not enough. That's what we felt. So what we've done is we have defined this soft regulation scheme where we work with the operators in a very close relation. So we meet with all these operators in a monthly base. We have these community meetings where we explain them what we want them to do, and they explain us what they need also the city to do in order for their business to be positive. And what we also have done was we designed a set of rules along with the operators, and we put these rules in a memorandum of understanding, and this memorandum of understanding was signed by the city and all the operators. Another thing that we have done was we told these operators that if they want to operate in the city, they would have to give us real-time data through an API. So all of the operators right now, all of the operators that have deployed in the city, some of them already left, all of them gave us the data regarding the position of their vehicles in real time and also of their trips, and we use this to better planning and to enforce the wrong use. We also felt that we need to increase the cycling network to in order to accommodate, especially micro mobility, because we're having a lot of people riding on sidewalks and pedestrian areas, and also leaving their scooters and bikes on sidewalks. So we also increase severely the number of parking places. We have done a lot of campaigning as well to explain the community, to people in general, that what is this concept of sharing, how they can install the apps, how they can try for the first time these vehicles in order to increase the number of users of these services. And so and we feel that together with the public transport and the soft modes, this new mobility service has helped us to develop our mobility ecosystem to a situation where we think it's we are in a position to achieve our goals, the goals that we have defined in the strategic vision. So this is it. I think I've just passed my time, and so I'm giving this back to the team.